Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancer collective here in late February? We're moving on into Pisces season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late February. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick, hopefully. You know, sometimes this deck can be very picky and choosy, but we do have this very intriguing card. And I always say, like, the imagery itself is kind of funny, but the actual energy, it's like straight down to business. It's a very logical, analytical type of energy that I always get with this. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this monkey sitting there. He's dressed up like Shakespeare, has the skull, contemplating life. There's a typewriter, there's books, there's like mathematics in the background. So to me, this is actually a card of intelligence. It's very similar to the Ace of Swords, where it's logical, it's pragmatic. It's really fantastic for taking on information. So for a lot of cancers in this time, maybe your brain is thirsty. Maybe there's a lot of things that you want to figure out, work on. No, this is very good for problem solving as well, like looking at something in an analytical type of way, which is beautiful. It's just super intelligent. It's very honest and straightforward as well. But the downside, obviously, when we get anything that points at the mind a little too much, it could represent overthinking. So in this time, watch, make sure you're not dwelling on something a little too much, or the brain could be going quickly. And again, this could be someone else's energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be yours. If you're cool as a cucumber and chill, maybe this is someone else's energy showing up. But I will say this, it's great for learning things and problem resolution. That's a big thing here. So, like taking a cold, hard look at something. So, we're just going to put him down right there. He could keep doing whatever he's doing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So, let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Cancer. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Surprising Action Incoming, and it did present itself in a couple of different ways to me, whether it was someone you're connected to that might be acting a little bit different than they normally do, or just someone doing something completely out of the blue. Those are like the main 2 storylines I was picking up. I mean, it could have even been yourself, for all we know. Didn't necessarily feel bad to me. It just kind of felt out of the blue. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Cancer. What's happening? What do we got for our good friends in late February? Cool. High Priestess. Big Pisces energy, which could be important with the time frame we're in right now. I know we're just like crossing into Pisces season. This is also a card I do give to Cancer as well, so we're going to have to look at her. She is a very mysterious card, very spiritual card, very sensitive card. Let's get a couple more here. Okay, I mean, 10 of Cups. You can't get much better than that. This is a water-heavy spread, and for a Cancer reading, that's usually a pretty good thing. Let's get one more. Let's get one more out here, then we'll start breezing through it. Okay, Ace of Wands. Cool. All right, so I'm not disliking what I'm seeing here, Cancer. Like, so far, to me, it feels like a lot of this energy could work with you and work to your benefit. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always like to look at the elements first. That informs a lot of things, like the areas of life that could be highlighted or how the energy is moving. And we have 2 main ones, right? We have water and fire. Now, water is your comfort zone. That's your power element. That's a place that Cancer placements are usually very comfortable in dealing with. And This is all the internal world. Whereas, like with that first oracle card, it was like much more logical and pragmatic. It was about the mind. Water is more about the matters of heart, matters of feelings and emotions, whether it's situations you care deeply for, people you care deeply for. It could be very creative and expressive as well. So for those of you that the creative juices are flowing, just know like this energy is really great for that. So whether it's creative solutions to problems or just creativity in general, if you have a lot going on inside of you, spirit might want you to put it outward in one way. Now the downside to all this cup energy, and of course it could represent personal relationships, but a downside to it is the ebb and flow, the back and forth, the up and down. That's what water is almost always moving, right? Rolls in like the tide. So we're gonna have to see, like, water can sometimes be hard to pin down, but we're going to give it a go. On the back end here, we have fire. That's the realm of action. So similar to like what we saw last week. So whether it's the actions you take, the actions other people take, the actions we want to take, I think of vitality. I think of energy levels when it comes to fire. So maybe you're feeling a little drained. Maybe you're feeling much better. It could be any mix of the two. Think of passion, drive, desire, that internal motor within you. That's why I really like fire. Now, the only downside to it, it could be unpredictable, right? Fire, it's hard to contain sometimes. So I can say this, although the energy is pointing in a good direction, these are all very intense energetically. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the High Priestess. Love the High Priestess. As far as zodiac signs, I already mentioned Pisces gets her classically, but I also link Cancer and Scorpio, so it's a big water sign card in my style. The High Priestess is the matron of psychics, intuitives, and tarot readers. She ties heavily into intuition. I always love the in depth symbolism with this card because we see her there. She's between the two pillars, Solomon's temple pillars, right? Boaz and Jock in the material world, the spiritual world. And she's sitting in that place of neutrality. That's one thing I always love about her. And I could speak on the in depth symbolism of her for like an hour. Like, this is a card that I've studied quite a bit. Now, to really simplify it, she does tie in, as mentioned, to the intuition, the feeling. She is the holder and keeper of great knowledge. Notice she always has that volume of sacred law in her lap. So she knows a lot. She also feels a lot. And there's something here about neutrality, I always say, with her. Now, the downside to the High Priestess, and it doesn't have to be a downside, she is very mysterious, right? She's very quiet, hush hush. She knows all these things, she knows all these secrets and these symbols, but she's very quiet about it. So, in the rough sense, could she be secrecy? Could she be silence? Yeah. Sometimes she could just represent something out of the blue, surprising or unexpected. So we'll see. And you know that how it goes in life, right? Life will always throw you a curveball from time to time. Now, moving to the center, we have one of the best cards in the whole entire tarot deck as we get her tucked back in by this amethyst. Definitely watch your intuition with the High Priestess too, your energetic sensitivity. But in the center, we have the Ten of Cups. And I mean, you just look at the symbolism here. This is everything. We have the 10 full cups. We got the rainbow. We got the happy family. It's a beautiful day. So, like, there's not many cards that express a better energy than this. So, of course, when I see it, I think of wins, I think of victories, I think of blessings. This could also represent home and family. So, if you got things going on within the home or with family members, Ten of Cups can definitely show up. Now, you might ask, what's the downside to such a beautiful wish fulfillment card? And remember, every card has two sides, just like these pillars, right? There's two sides to everything. The Ten of Cups can just be very intense, right? Like cups, remember, that's emotion. 10 full cups, I'm feeling a lot of things, especially with the High Priestess right next to it. So there's this certain emotional intensity, which as a water sign, you're probably used to working with, used to dealing with, which doesn't necessarily make it bad, but there's just a strong heaviness, there's a weight to it. So we'll look into that further. But initially, I think that's usually a win. Now, on the back end, we have the Ace of Wands. Love it. I love all aces in tarot. They represent offers, they represent opportunities to me. They're fresh, they're new. So whether it's a fresh approach or a new approach, especially with the action, it's like, I'm doing this now. I'm doing this new thing. It's great for like new hobbies, new thought processes. We really like it. Again, it could be offers and opportunities. A thing with all aces, sometimes they could also connect to talks, conversations, messages. So we'll see, especially with the fire element, like, hey, are we talking about a combo? The only downside to all aces is the fact that they're not fully developed. right? Like it's a good potential, it's a great idea, but it's not guaranteed. I always say that with aces. They could be a little flighty too sometimes, but there is an intensity with that Ace of Wands. It's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm fired up here. So I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle. Let's see what's happening. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the beautiful High Priestess. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, High Priestess time. Why is she here? For my good friends. Thank you. Cool. I feel something in the ether. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but I have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse underneath. And this is something that's like slowly shifting, slowly changing. So there could be like a variety of, I would say this, watch out for boredom. That's one thing. Like for some Cancers, there could be certain things where it's like, it's like same thing, different day, same thing, different day. Like there's a certain energy that's making me feel a little bit bored. So again, that's just a little side message. But when I see the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, that's a card of change. Like the winds are changing, right? Like if we're out there on a sailboat and the wind's going one way, it starts to swing the other way. So I'm already getting this energy of something changing behind the scenes, even if like the material reality hasn't picked up quite yet. And since Cancer is usually so in tune with energetic shifts, energetic changes, it would make sense that like your internal systems will probably be picking up on that. So I'm not sure whether it's work and career, whether it's health, relationships, you name it. There's a subtle shift happening behind the scenes. So could it be a surprising or unexpected change? Sure, with the High Priestess. We want to look into it further because we still have a lot happening. So those are the main things. Again, for some of you, you might need to keep yourself busy. You might be feeling a little dry or things seem a little boring to you. Might need to shake something up. But for another portion of you, it's like I feel the energy subtly changing behind the scenes, but it feels hidden. Let's keep moving. And for those of you connected to an Earth sign, that's Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. All right, let's keep moving forward. Subtle. It's subtle, but it's there. So let's go in on the Ten of Cups. Let's see what that has. So why is it quick, super quick? Yeah, and then it completes. The change completes. Okay, and it's like, yeah, I knew it was going to happen. So this is something about you being proven right. Okay, so you take stock of that, go inward about that message. When I see the Four of Pentacles in reverse underneath the Ten of Cups, it's like chapter complete, change complete. And there's also something about being proven right about it. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that at some point in your life, especially if you're a very intuitive person where it's like, I knew it was coming. I knew I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to happen, because that's just how this feels to me. So we do have a pretty big theme here of energy shifting behind the scenes and then being proven right about it. Like that's already what I'm picking up, even if it is like surprising, unexpected. It's like I knew it was coming. I still knew it was coming. I may have doubted it. Now, the Four of Pentacles is usually in the upright. I call it a neutral card. It does connect heavily to money, finances. This is great for work and finance, I'll tell you that. But it's clamped down. When we talk to like we'll talk about personal relationships or connections. The Four of Pentacles is like holding on to something. Like it's an energy. It's like, I can't let go of this thing. So when I see it in reverse under the Ten of Cups, it's like, oh, complete. It's complete, but there is this energy about being proven right. So take that for what it's worth. Not sure if this is one of your gut feelings or what you've been programming yourself, but it's like I've been proven right. And there's something about it where I feel vindicated as well. We're going to keep moving. We're going to go over to the Ace of Wands, which is interesting to me because it's like we feel it in the air, change complete, and then boom, we have the next chapter. So what's going on the Ace of Wands? Let's see what's up. I mean, I like the way the energy flows. I like the way it flows. Okay. All right. So this energy is very much about staying open. Again, that's something you'll want to internalize. So, like, if there's a door that's been closed to you, this could potentially be a door that opens back up. Or if this is spirit saying, like, hey, Cancer, just be open, be adaptable, be changeable, which I know a lot of Cancers are very good at doing that, right? The Page of Swords, air sign energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and a lot of people call it the watcher of the tarot deck. It's very analytical, it's very defensive. And I always say when it comes to all pages, they're communicators and they're students, specifically this one. But the Page of Swords is a bit different because it's defensive. It has its guard up. So similar to this Four of Pentacles, it's kind of closed off. In reverse, it's like defenses are down. So whether this is a door that opens to you, or whether this is spirit saying, like, hey, Cancer, be open to opportunities, or be open to this, be open to that. There's just an energy here where I don't want to say it's like get ready for it, but to me, it's more so be prepared to experience certain things. Like you need to have the doors open for something to walk through it, if that makes sense. So I like the way the energy's shifting. I like the way it's changing. Now, if we were to look at this in a more strict classical type of interpretation, when I see the Ace of Wands with the Page of Swords in reverse, this is a shift of attention where it's like, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to this. I'm going to put my focus on that. I'm not going to look at this anymore. I'm going to focus on this thing. So for some Cancers, maybe there's certain things where you're going to start shifting your attention, shifting your intention. That's very possible with this alignment. But to me, it feels more so like either a door opening or spirits asking you to be open, keep your door open, so to speak. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So very intriguing mixture of stuff. We got change, we got things coming in. Position number one, we have the High Priestess with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and it does feel a little subtle but hidden. So again, there could be surprising, unexpected changes brewing, and a lot of you could like feel it in the ether. That's how this feels to me initially. This does also have a little side message of boredom, so watch out for getting bored with certain things, or like Groundhog's Day or cabin fever, whatever it's going to be. Moving to the middle, we have the Ten of Cups with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and to me that feels like change complete or being proven right about something. So or vindicated. I don't know. So maybe there's something that you feel is going to happen, but there's no proof of it, and then boom! Oh, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. Whether that's good or in between or bad, whatever it is you're dealing with, to me, I feel like you would know the answer to that better than me. But it's like I've been proven right. Moving to the back end, I have the Ace of Wands with the Page of Swords in reverse. The intuitive message here was either a door opening or keeping open to potential and possibilities and all this kind of stuff, whether you or somebody else. But the classical interpretation is more so along the lines of shifting the focus of what you're paying attention to. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they can be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Page of Cups, that is a Cancer power card. I like the page, and we kind of already discussed page energy with this Page of Swords. Now, if you might be connected to another water sign, this can also represent youth or somebody younger. Now, if we're not focusing on a specific individual, the Page of Cups is very similar to this Page of Swords, where it's learning things, taking in information, but this one's usually much more emotionally expressive. So when I see the Page of Cups in the shadows, it's either one or two things. Either it's a conversation coming in that you weren't expecting to have, or this can also represent emotional suppression. So I'm not saying it's definitely you, but there might be someone trying to push things down, 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 down. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about. I'll talk about it another time. It's like one of those. So watch out for communication issues in this time with the Page of Cups and the shadows. There's also something about it that's very shy and bashful and a little on edge. So we're just going to leave that page right there. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be three, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop, mastermetaphysics.com, once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.